Mae Nak lived in the early 19th century in a small village near Bangkok, Thailand. She was a young, beautiful woman who was deeply in love with her husband, Mak. Their home, situated by the Phra Khanong Canal, was a modest wooden house surrounded by lush greenery. The couple was eagerly awaiting the arrival of their first child, and their life together was full of joy and anticipation. One fateful day, Mak was conscripted into the military to fight in a distant war. Reluctantly, he left Mae Nak, who was heavily pregnant and in poor health. As Mak departed, he promised to return as soon as possible, vowing to be by her side when their child was born. During Mak's absence, Mae Nak's health deteriorated. The stress of her husband's departure and the demands of her pregnancy took a toll on her. She fell gravely ill and eventually passed away during childbirth, along with their baby. Her spirit, bound by the love and anticipation of her husband's return, lingered in their home, unable to move on. Unbeknownst to Mak, who was still fighting far from home, Mae Nak's spirit began to haunt their house. After the war ended, Mak returned, eager to reunite with his beloved wife. Upon arrival, he found their home eerily quiet, but was overjoyed to see Mae Nak waiting for him with open arms. The villagers, aware of Mae Nak's death and the haunting presence, were terrified. They refrained from telling Mak the truth, fearing Mae Nak's ghostly wrath. Instead, they tried to avoid the house and stayed away from Mak and Mae Nak, hoping to keep them separated from the spirit's influence. As time passed, the villagers' fears became reality. Mae Nak's spirit began to reveal itself. At first, her presence was subtle. Objects would move on their own, and strange noises could be heard at night. However, her manifestations grew more alarming. The ghostly Mae Nak would sometimes appear to the villagers in her spectral form, pale, gaunt, and with a decaying visage. One particularly frightening episode occurred when a group of villagers, driven by curiosity and fear, visited the house to investigate the strange occurrences. They witnessed Mae Nak's ghostly form, glowing faintly with an eerie light. Her true appearance, decomposed and ghastly, was a stark contrast to the vibrant and beautiful woman she had once been. The villagers were horrified, but also sympathetic, knowing the tragic story behind the ghostly presence. The truth finally came out when Mak's friend, a brave and honest man, confronted Mae Nak's spirit. He explained to Mak that Mae Nak had died, and her spirit was trapped, unable to move on because of her deep, unresolved love. Heartbroken, Mak faced the reality of his wife's death. He understood the pain and turmoil that had kept Mae Nak's spirit bound to the house. In the end, Mak and the villagers performed rituals to help Mae Nak's spirit find peace. They held ceremonies and made offerings to appease her restless soul. Slowly, the disturbances in the house lessened, and Mae Nak's presence became less frightening. Despite the resolution, Mae Nak's ghost is still said to linger around the Phra Khanong Canal. Her tale endures as a poignant reminder of love, loss, and the supernatural. The story of Mae Nak is often recounted in Thai folklore and serves as a captivating example of how love and grief can transcend the boundaries between life and death.